Hello, and welcome back to the studio for an unplanned video. If you recall, in the last video, I was installing this light, small rig RC120B, and it's a great light. I mean, it's all I got on. Well, I have a little fill light over here. But of course, the app was a disaster, so that video did not go well. We're hoping this video goes much better. Today we're going to be unboxing the Zhiyun Molus X100 mini light, but COB, like the one from last week. But I wasn't going to buy this one. And there's a story. So if all you care about is
what's in the box,
skip to the next chapter. Because first I'm going to tell you my little story. So after last week, again, the light is great. The app was unusable. I mean, it'll turn the light off and on, and that's about it. If you try to do anything else, it crashes. Anyway, you can go watch that video. I'll link it up here. So a couple of days after I shot the last video about the RC120B, I get a notification from YouTube that Mark Bennett's Camera Crisis has a new video. Bennett! And as you know, this usually is going to end up costing me money. Well, yes, it did again. But I'm not sorry. Well, I don't know if I'm sorry yet. Let's get through the unboxing and setup and see if I'm sorry. As I said last week in last week's video, I got my key light now, but I kind of need a fill light over here. And I was thinking about getting something similar because then it would give me more flexibility. But after last week's debacle, I'm not buying one of these. Great light, but the app control, duh. So Mark's video was about the Molus X100 from Zhiyun. And I'm watching this, I'm going, well, this is exactly what I need, because it's a smaller light. You're not going to believe how small. We'll get to that in a minute. And it was like everything I wanted. I said, well, Bennett, you cost me money again, but we'll see. And by the way, FedEx brought it this morning. I know I said we'd be doing the accent light video. I started that video while I was waiting for this to arrive. It's not going well either. So you'll have some more entertainment next week as I struggle with lighting equipment and apps. And oh, it was relatively horrible. I'm really glad this arrived in time for me to shoot this video so that you get to see this week, and I get to put off for another week finishing, because no, I never got it finished. Well, you'll see next week. Let's get to the unboxing. The Zhiyun Molus X100. It came from China like this. You can see there's Chinese writing on it and Chinese customs and stuff. By the way, if you look, taking the overhead shot, you can see I already need another light because look, it's dark over here. This is where the fill light would be. And this is it. As you can see from the box, this is the Molus X100 Pro. After I get the things out of the box, I'll show you. There's three versions that you can order. This is the top of the line. It's me. You knew I was going to do that. So it opens like that. What's in the box? Another box. There's always another box. Okay, there's three boxes. Let's take all three out. This is adorable. We'll get to that later. So this box is where the action is. Now this is the storage bag, they call it. Zhiyun has a 60 watt, it's even smaller, it's a little cube. They're adorable. You can go watch videos. I'll link some down below. So we open the bag. There's a little quick start guide, service card. Oh, this is a little bag for the AC adapter. This is the power brick with a relatively long cable. And again, this looks long enough where, again, if it's up on a light stand, the power brick will not be dangling off the light. Ah, this is the way cool battery that we'll get into in a minute. The light itself, caution, fire. I know it's hard to believe. This is the whole thing. Has warnings, glaring light and high temperature, exposure at close range will cause a fire. Don't lean this up against anything. Professional lighting must be used under the guidance of professionals. Well, we're already in trouble because we know I'm not a professional. Another warning. These two little warning tags say high temperature at the light holder. That this is where the power, but if you pull it up, this is where this battery is going to connect. Again, we'll get to all this in a minute. We haven't finished taking everything out of the box yet. I just had to stop because this is so cool. Then we have the most adorable baby little reflector. Isn't it gorgeous? Little baby reflector, which we'll just screw on, and then there's a little snap to get it back off. Oh, we have a little strap, like a little lanyard kind of thing, I guess, so you can hang the light around your neck if you so desire. Okay, that's everything in the storage bag. Now, let's talk about, there's levels before we start setting it up. The standard version consists of the light itself, the mini reflector, the power adapter, a bag for the power adapter, and the what they refer to in the marketing materials as the light strap. So that's $249 for this. But you don't get the cool thing, which is the battery. This is an amazing little battery so that you can run this thing wirelessly. Pop this on, you got a light. And the battery at full power, 100 watts, will run for about 30 minutes and then takes 2.5 hours to recharge. So, well, that doesn't sound very good. That's at 100%. Once we start setting it up and playing with it, you're going to say, well, you would never put it at 100%. Well, if you put it at 50%, guess what? You get more like over an hour. And if you put it down at 10%, the less power you use, the longer the battery will last. But to get the battery and the storage bag and the Bowens adapter. Now, because this is so tiny, these accessories have their own little proprietary adapters. But if you're a real lighting professional, which I am not, but if you were, but I do have Bowens mount stuff. Well, here's a Bowens mount adapter. Well, that comes with the combo package, which is another $100. So $349, another $100 gets you this and this. Oh, and the bag and that. I went the step beyond because for another $50, up to $399, you get all of this. Plus, yes, this is a little tiny, teeny tiny softbox. Look at it. Well, we'll be taking it out and playing with it in a minute. It's the world's cutest little softbox. I had to have it. Now, they sell other accessories for it. There's a dome diffuser. I don't think this is sold separately yet. They suck you in for another $50. But again, this softbox over here costs closer to $200. So $50. So that's what you get. Now, let's play with it. I got 4 bars, so it's fully charged. So we'll play with it with the battery for a minute. So you have to completely remove this little thing. I was trying to do it with it still in now. And then you can see that, yes, it's just going to snap in there. So the power button is this little red button, and if you hold it down, see it coming on there? There we go. It's at 4,000 Kelvin at 10%. 10%, pretty bright. 5,500, 6,500, 2,700. Did I mention it's bicolor? So you tap it, it goes 5,500, 6,500, back down to 2,700. Or you can turn it to get to any of the numbers in between. Brightness, 50. That's 100%. I can't look down. It's very bright on the table, which I guess you can see. Yeah, you can see in this camera. 0, 50, 100. So you can press the button to jump 0, 50, 100, or you can turn it. Now there's 1%. That's not bad. At 100%, this is going to drain down in 30 minutes. But at 10%, you probably can get a couple of hours out of it. I don't know exactly how many because I haven't tested it yet. Most of the time, by the way, I will not be using the battery because it's going to be here in the studio, so I will be using the power adapter. Press this button here to release the battery. Well, I'm going to plug it in to the wall. Okay, the power brick is sitting on the floor, and this is how high this comes, and any higher than this, it's going to be. So if you use this method, the power brick will be hanging off of it. Where this plugs in is hiding under this other warning sticker. By the way, this is the bottom. And I don't know if you can see, there's 2 1/4-inch mount holes. One is directly in the center, which is what you would do if you're going to be using it like I am with the power. The other one is offset over here. Well, that's if you have the battery attached so that the weight it'll make the weight distribution a little easier. Oh, when we were talking about the battery, I failed to mention, it also has a USB-C, but on the USB-C here, I don't know if you can see this, it says N out. So you can also use this as a power bank. So now I'm getting power out of the wall. You snap that on, and now we have our little reflector to make it into a little spotlight. Let's try the Bowens mount. My only Bowens mount accessory is the softbox that is currently on the light I'm using. Is my key light, the small rig. So again, it just like the reflector, the Bowens mount has a little reflector inside it. So it'll be brighter, but then of course as soon as you put a softbox or something, it'll dim it back down. And see, it has a light stand mount that's adjustable. This mount, which again is metal, will be taking the weight rather than the light itself, which you don't really want taking a lot of weight. To get this adorable little thing. Look, isn't it adorable? And here's the actual little softbox. And I mean little. This is what, maybe 6 inches? It has a strap that doesn't come off. You put this onto this mount. Okay, now it's locked. Oh, you push down and it locks. And then you have your little softbox. And now if we turn it on, here's a nice soft light. But you can see on the table that there's spill out to the sides. See, then you mount your little, it's got little Velcro points there, one there, and voila. You see, it keeps the light more directed. I just think it's adorable. I'm sorry, it's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Look, it's like a light, only smaller. I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna mount it right now as my fill light.
5 minutes later.
So I had a cheap Amazon Basics light stand. I've turned off my fill light and I'm using the Molus as my fill light. But there's a problem. The little mounts underneath, you can't tilt it.
11 minutes later.
So now I have the Molus up here as a fill light. So I'm getting most of my, and I have it on like 5%. So it's just doing a little fill over here. I'll be working on the lighting now that I have real lights. I know this still isn't that good, but hey, better than what I had. How I did it mounts, the screw is just straight in. Well, I'll link it down below. The little Portkeys monitor I bought for monitoring my overhead camera, which I have sitting over here on the corner of the desk, came with a little thing, you know, for mounting on top of a camera so that you could tilt it. Well, I put that between the light stand and the Molus. Now I'm going to move into the most dangerous part of the video. I've installed the app. Now, if you go watch all the reviews of this light, none of the people that got it early got the app because it wasn't ready. It didn't work yet. So it is now officially shipped. It's been like 7 days since it was released. So let's go into the app. Seize the light. Add. Oh, it's successfully added. Okay, I have the latest firmware according to the app. So see, I can control the brightness. Whoa. Okay, that's 100%. That's pretty damn bright. So that's about 14%. That looks decent. My color temperature is currently 6500. See, you have total control. You can get it down. You can turn it off and on. There's more buttons underneath. Oh, for your color temperature, you can say daytime, which will put it at 5600, tungsten 3200, modeling 3350, dysprosium, fluorescent, sunlight, xenon. Well, that's pretty damn handy. If you take this thing out with you somewhere and you're using they're using regular light bulbs, you can just hit tungsten light. And again, if you have it set up as a set, all of the lights in the set will go to tungsten. Oh, check this out. I hit the little CCT pair, and it says it wants to use the camera so it can do color temperature matching and color picking and everything. Once I have it set up for the studio here, I'm probably only going to ever turn it off and on, which I can do on the side of the light like I do here, since the app doesn't work over here. So now I have a working app, except I don't really need it. But for those of you who watched all the other videos of people trying out this light who didn't have access to the app yet, or that the light didn't work with the app yet, well, I can tell you, it works with the light as it shipped, and it came with the current firmware. So the shipping version, as of, I got this like the day after they announced it. So it's one of the first ones, but it came with current firmware and the app works. So already I'm having a much better experience than I had last week with that guy. So it's just a really handy dandy little system. I'm very impressed. That light, 120 watt, the small rig RC120B was $259. This one, $249. Now that's with just the basic stuff. I paid $399 for this package. Again, that with the softbox was way more, because the light was $259 and the softbox was at least $150. I'm very impressed with this company. And again, Bennett, Mark Bennett's Camera Crisis, who's the one who told me about all this stuff. But I got good stuff out of the deal. So now this is my new setup. This studio is coming along. That's the Molus X100 from Zhiyun. I'm very impressed with this little tiny light. It's adorable and it works. And it's relatively bright. I like Zhiyun. They are innovating, and I love innovators. In fact, that's, in my real life job, I'm a college professor, and one of the things I teach is the management of innovation and how to innovate. And these people are doing all the stuff that I teach my students how to do. Coming out with cool new things and pushing the envelope and trying new things. So thumbs up to Zhiyun. Good job. So go check it out. Links will be down below. That's it. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.